future. We're talking real money.
Now, out there in the Pacific Northwest, which is where our show airs on Saturdays on Northwest News Radio, you guys have fairly traditional seasons. You got your short summer, but you have a fall, right?
I thought you were going to say we got the two seasons. We got the rainy season and the non-rainy season.
No, but you have
that's about all it is.
I mean, and lately I've actually been out there for 90-degree summer days. I know they exist. So you got your summer,
rare, but still.
You got your fall. Mm-hmm. You got your winter. I've seen snow. I saw it just the other day when I was in Seattle. Yes. I saw it snow. Out the window, it was snowing. And then you have spring, right?
Hopefully,
which is what's supposed to be coming soon. Here in Florida, if you've never lived here, you don't know about our seasons. We have summer, traditional, hot, right?
Humid.
Yeah. We have the next season, which isn't really fall. We call it autumn, which is just a little less hot. It's autumn.
Humid.
Hot-ish.
Yeah.
Autumn.
Yeah.
Then we have winter, never mind. That's what we call it. Winter, never mind. Because there isn't one. And then
because it's 65 degrees. Yeah.
And then right now we are in not spring. No, we are entering sprawl.
Sprawl.
Here in Florida, I call it sprawl. It's when the weather warms up a little bit and the stupid oak trees lose their leaves.
Oh, so it all comes down in the spring?
Yeah,
Weird.
It's called sprawl. I call it sprawl. Now, the reason I bring up the seasons is because in the typical season we're entering into, spring, not sprawl, we do spring cleaning. It's a human thing. We clean up the nest after the long winter. You know, we shake out the rugs and brush out the cobwebs. But
garage.
Oh, please don't send me into my garage.
Okay.
Please.
Sorry.
My wife keeps saying, we got to go out in the garage. No, I don't want to go in the garage. No, please don't. No.
Fair enough.
Got my half of her house is in there when she moved. Oh. Anyway, in the spring, you clean up your house. Well, we think maybe it's a good time, and others do too, to clean up your financial life.
I think it's an awesome opportunity. Spring is here soon. I think it's the Ides of March is where it starts, right? This is from a list at CNBC. Pardon me, Morningstar. Thought it was CNBC, from Morningstar. No,
can't keep your sources straight. That's okay.
I know.
At least it's not the Wall Street Journal.
Exactly. And I love it. I absolutely love most of these. Not all of them, but most of them. Number one, for what's in for spring cleaning 2024, according to this author, reading financial books to build investing confidence. And then the question always is, which books? I'm going to recommend a few. Your book, Don McDonald.
Okay, come on. That's
Paul
not
Merriman's
a
book.
bestseller. It's just.
But it's a very good book, and it's easy to read. It's short, and I think the lessons are well taught.
It's at Amazon.
Paul Merriman, he's got a couple books that I think are worthwhile. John Bogle, you could read any of the stuff he's
good. I agree with
simple,
you there. Yep.
Straight up. Next suggestion is, I hope this doesn't hurt anybody's feelings, saving first, spending last.
Why would that hold on? Why would that hurt anybody's feelings?
Because people
everybody
don't do it.
knows they should, though.
But they don't.
Yeah, but we know we should. So it's kind of like you tell us that, we go, yeah, you're right. We should. Not that we're going to, but we should.
And speaking of that, number 3 is maxing out. Imagine this. I hear, I'm maxing out my 401k. So I say, you're putting $30,000 in your 401k. Oh, no, I don't do that. See, people mistake the max out with the match.
The maximum amount they match.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a tongue twister.
Confused.
The maximum amount they match as opposed to the maximum amount you can put in, which is $30,000.
Yeah. Well, it's only 23.5 if you're under 50.
I'm sorry, we're old and we just think old.
Doesn't matter. Roth IRA conversions. Just met with somebody. Had no idea that you could even do this.
Blanket.
No, you didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, but
You're
it's
right.
a blanket statement. There are times when if you can't.
Yeah,
there are things we're not saying you should always do these things. You should consider them and see if it makes sense for you.
Yeah. Here's one that is really great if you're working and it's available and it works with your health plan, setting up a health savings account. They're truly wonderful because you save into them, you get a tax deduction. Mm-hmm. The money grows tax deferred, and you can use that any time in your life to pay health expenses. It's fantastic.
I don't have one.
Really is good.
I don't use the high deductible plans.
I know.
You have more. We got a whole list of them.
Things not to do too. In
but we're going to start with. We're going to be positive. Things you should do. The things you should do going forward, and then the things you probably should avoid. And you can call and ask us questions about money. 855-935-TALK. 8255.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
In medicine, a second opinion might save your life. With investing, a second opinion might save your future. The trick is getting one without a high-pressure sales pitch. Well, I'm Don McDonald, and if you've been listening to Talking Real Money, you know that our goal is to help everyone create a brighter future by investing and managing money better. That's why, in addition to helping everyone on our show and podcast, we are also committed to making our 100% fiduciary advisors at Appella available to help everyone make the best financial decisions based on science. So if you're being pitched a financial product or a system, make sure you get a second opinion with no cost, no obligation, and no annoying sales pitch by going to TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. That's 800-386-3004 or TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
We love helping you. It's what we do, and it's what we've done for decades. Literally decades. With radio shows and podcasts and newsletters and magazines and in the media of all kinds in our businesses. And we want to help you when you need the help. And we're here every Saturday, noon to 2 Pacific time on Northwest News Radio, taking questions. And anybody can call 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. And all the lines are open right now as we talk about some really great, simple things that you can do to change your financial life. In other words, do a little spring cleaning in your financial brain.
Yeah, I think it's good. We mentioned a couple of things, kind of reading a book as a starting place. I mentioned Don's book. Paul Merriman's got books. John Bogle, anything he wrote. Saving first, in other words, paying yourself first. Maxing out that 401k, considering Roth IRA conversions. Don's right. That's not for everybody. I love the health savings accounts. Again, you got to be in the right type of plan. You got to be in a situation where you can do that. I think those are great. But then there's a few more that I think this is one that comes up. That I'm self-employed or I work for somebody that doesn't have a retirement plan. What do I do?
Get an IRA.
And too often people, they either think, well, I'll get to that, and they never quite do, or they think I never have the cash available to make the contributions. Mm-hmm. So the author here suggests, not unlike a 401k, automating IRA contributions. Mm-hmm. We know the people that automate things, have a discipline to them, end up with way more money. And it doesn't matter. Start with something small. It just comes out of your account, goes into the IRA every month. I love that. Absolutely.
Well, and there are a lot of companies that do this.
Tons of them.
What's the one that I use just to round up my change?
Now I'm forgetting the name of it. I can see it too. It'll come to me. Right. It'll come back. Gosh, it's one of the things when you try too hard to remember and you can't remember it.
Yeah, why can't I remember it? I use the darn Acorns, and Acorns has an automatic IRA. They have an IRA that they can fund basically from spare change.
I think it's beautiful. And that's
why wouldn't you do that?
We haven't talked about it much. I think it's a great way to save because it's a rounding. So if you spent $3.86 somewhere, it takes the 14 cents, if that's how you set up the account, and puts it into an IRA in this case and invests it.
Yeah. It's called Acorns later, and we get nothing from them, by the way.
No, we don't get anything
We get nothing.
Not even an acorn.
Not even a mighty oak card. But it's a clever name, Acorns later, and they have decent ETFs.
Yeah, it's a good portfolio. Sure.
Yeah. And you're in accumulation phase, so,
Makes sense. Okay, so that's one. Here's another one I see all the time. Great time to do this for the spring cleanup, and that is checking and making sure your beneficiary designations are up to date.
Okay, that one sounds a lot more complicated.
But
that sounds like
world, I bet right now you could go onto your 401k and change it so it went to me instead of to Debbie.
I don't even know if I would know how to do that.
I bet you do. Come on.
I'm going to it right now.
I bet I could do it.
I'm going to go
Not going to do it. Might be harder.
I'm not
because
giving it to you. No.
Oh, sorry. They don't like giving it to they don't like you taking it from the spouse. There's some rules around all that, of course.
And then you can do that on your IRA.
Yes, of course. Same
on your
thing,
brokerage accounts.
In today's world, that stuff pretty easy to do. Schwab, you can go right in and change it if you had to. This is so huge. This is why there's $18 trillion in bank accounts. This is why you call us up and say, I just came into $100,000 and I don't know what to do. Or I've had $200,000 sitting in a savings account for a year because I don't know what to do. Tying portfolio withdrawals to portfolio performance. In other words, not building the correct asset allocation and waiting for something.
You mean not trying to, and not saying, well, I need to find investments that make me the amount of money I need. I need to generate this income stream. Instead, build a portfolio that makes the kind of money you can make given your risk situation, your risk profile, and then take what you need from that.
Yeah. It came up at Retire Me. But it's a huge mistake I see regularly. Here's another one. Come on, really? Do we really have to discuss this in 2024? I guess we do. Bonds. What's in for 2024 is bonds. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to make you a lot of money. We don't know that. That doesn't even mean that the yields which have gone up will stay. Well,
no, they weren't. They should not have been out.
No, they shouldn't have been. But people quit. And people call all the time and say, wait, I just looked and in the 10 years made like 1% a year. Why am I in these things? They haven't made any money. Yeah, but they're there to stabilize your portfolio. They're the ballast when stocks get ugly. Did you manage to change the?
I'm telling you, my first response was the correct one.
You can't do
Easier said than done.
All right. Okay,
you actually, it looks to me like you have to call somebody.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, you can't just go online.
I would try, but I can't imitate your voice. I could do other voices, but not yours.
No, it looks like no, it's not just, hey, change my beneficiary. Not there.
Disappointing. I'll have to get by without it, I guess. I'll have to.
Kind of like canceling those subscription plans. Good luck finding out how to cancel. We'll make it easy to sign up.
Piece of cake.
All right, what else you got?
Bonds. Okay, bonds are in. I don't think
bonds were never out.
Never been out.
Can we explain why bonds should have never been out?
Because they're an important part of your portfolio.
Why are they an important part of your portfolio? For the huge income and return they provide?
Nope. The stability. They didn't in 2022. I get it. People said, I don't want to own them anymore. Then what do you own instead? And are you in a portfolio then of all stocks where you could see it fall by 50%? Are you okay with that? We know that basically no one is.
Thank you.
No one is.
That is the argument. That is the argument right there. Has the stock market, has a total stock market portfolio, U.S. stock market or international, ever suffered a substantial double-digit loss? Yeah.
Yes, lots of times.
Whereas has a broadly diversified total high-quality bond index, like the Vanguard Bond Index Fund or any aggregate bond fund, have they ever had multiple double-digit down years? No, they haven't.
They have not.
The worst year that I can find is a loss of 13%.
2022.
In 2022.
Yeah. Yep.
That compares with a 50% loss approximately for the total stock market.
08, 01. We can keep going there. That's happened several times. And this is one I recommend to you, Don. I looked at it, I read it, I reread it to make sure that it fits. And I think it does. Because one of the things that's in for 2024 is being a minimalist.
How much more minimal can you be than me?
You're just in that one little room.
I never leave this room.
That's why I brought it up. Actually, you need to be a maximalist.
Then when I do leave the room, I'm going to go into a little tiny silver trailer.
That's good. My daughter just asked me again, you're going to let him out of the trailer, right? I said, I don't know. Probably won't want to.
No, I like
staying
my
right
trailer.
Next door. I know you do. The minimalist thing, I don't know. That's kind of personal.
Oh, I finally did check. I forgot to mention. The worst year ever in history for bonds.
Was it 93?
2022.
It was 2022.
2022.
I knew the early 90s had a couple pretty bad years, too.
The worst year for bonds. So I want to go back to this for a minute because this is so important. It's so much more important than all this other stuff because we hear it all the time. Why you guys say we should still put money in bonds when bonds sucked in 2022? Well, how badly did socks? That's my
socks
Dean Witter
really
training.
Smelled the place
Back
up,
in the,
I guess.
Yeah,
huh?
socks and stocks.
Okay.
How badly did stocks sink? Wow.
Can we start
stocks
this again?
stink.
Hit restart. Sinking socks.
Stocks sink or stocks
Sucks.
stink
Yeah.
in
Okay.
2020. Just
Is that
2020.
enough? Yeah.
How bad were stocks for part of that year?
By the spring, they'd gone down over 30% in like an 6-week period. It was very quick.
Bonds
Sharp,
didn't
bang.
do that. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. 855-935-8255. You know you can call us, right? And save me. Thanks.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Well, darn it, this may be one of the best hours of compact advice ever given on Talking Real Money. Everything you need to know about how to improve your financial life in 1 hour. And we haven't even finished the hour yet. Can you imagine how much more is left to come? And then with you participating at 855-935-TALK? Oh, my goodness, Tom.
It's a lot here. So how about a couple more things that are in? We've talked about sort of getting a little education, saving first, maxing out the 401k or setting up a health savings account, automating contributions, which I think is absolutely huge. Bonds, yeah, you probably should own bonds unless you're a really young person just getting going with your investments.
May I add something else there?
Yes, please.
Quick addition. I forgot to mention that we talked about how the BND, the total bond index, was down about 13% in 2022. I forgot to mention that the total stock market index was down 18%.
For the year. It's bad. But again, in the spring of 2020 is far worse. And I'll tell you something else, because somebody just texted me. They want to know if you're going to get the socks out of the room entirely now, because they're really stinking the place up. So just check.
Well, because we're just getting out of sprawl, we're entering into summer, which is the season where in Florida you just don't wear socks.
There's no socks exist.
No, you do not put socks on. They're just going to be a mess in about 12 minutes. They're just going to be all
step outside and
little sponges. Go ahead.
Okay, how about a couple more for things you should be taking advantage of in spring cleaning here? Rebalancing. This is so big, and yet most people don't do it. They might build the right portfolio. They might put things in it, and then they forget that some things go up faster than others, and you got to make sure you rebalance the portfolio.
Probably because that is the toughest. I think that's one of the toughest things for people to do, because rebalancing requires almost total control over your financial emotions.
Oh, huge!
It requires a great deal of trust in the system, trust in the logic, trust in the academic research that, by the way, is just based on dumb logic. The fact that you will never know when is the right time to buy or the right time to sell, and so you should be in more often than you should be out, and you can't ride your winners forever because Kenny Rogers told you not to. He said you needed to know when to fold them. And the way you fold them is through discipline, and the way you buy them is through discipline. When your position gets out of line with your risk profile, which is tolerance and risk.
So now
needs.
you're talking stocks to bonds.
Stocks
how
to
much
bonds
in stocks,
or
how much in
whatever it
bonds.
might be. Your real
Sure.
estate, but whenever you get out of whack for the portfolio you intended to have based on your plan, you must make moves. You must get it moved. It's got to become a disciplined approach.
And we used to talk about this in a class. In fact, you did the work. That if you started with a 60-40 portfolio in about 15 years, if you do nothing, the portfolio becomes 80% in stocks and 20% in bonds.
It has in the
which
past.
Which is way riskier.
Because stocks, and it's all based on logic, stocks have tended to outperform bonds, and they should in the future. So therefore, if you don't rebalance, as the stocks tend to do better, they build up more, fewer bonds, and now you're out of whack should a downturn happen. No, should.
Yeah,
when a downturn happens.
Now you're looking at, instead of a 25% reduction in your portfolio value. It could be as high as 40% in an 80-20. Big difference. Here's another one. And I mentioned this. I tried to mention it a lot. I think Paul Merriman mentioned this at Retirement. Thank you for joining us. Small cap stocks are in 2024. That assumes they went out. But if you look back over a long period of time, they way outperform large cap stocks have.
Thank you.
They're riskier assets. You would expect them to do that. But most people don't own them. Most people, they own the S&P 500, and that's kind of
in just because of the year. They are in because they have demonstrated over almost 100 years that they have dramatically, not just a little either, the outperformance for small company stocks versus large company stocks is dramatic.
We used to put it up on that chart. Remember, we.
I love
that
chart. I love that chart where it would be like $1 invested in stocks over 90 years grew to I don't know $3,000 or $5,000 or something like that.
Whatever,
and $1 put in small cap was in the six figures.
It's crazy.
It was just so much bigger, high five figures.
Yeah.
So there is a taking, but it's all again because of logic. Why do small company stocks tend, or have they tended to make more? They're riskier. You must get rewarded for risk eventually, or you won't take it. 855-935-TOM.
Tom and Don are talking real money. Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Not a lot that gets talked about on talk radio is more important than talking about your money. And that's why we want to give you the opportunity to talk with us about it. A couple of old guys who've been in the financial business and the broadcasting business for ever. Yeah.
Marconi and I got together and said, put those wires, let's make them work.
Long. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking back, and actually,
as long as you still can.
This is 40 years in the financial business. 40 years.
It's a long time.
All right. You can call us. 855-935-TALK is our number, 855-935-8255, just like Paula did. Hello, Paula, and welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Good. Thank you.
I have a general question for you, and hopefully you can give me some ideas. If I were thinking about retiring in the next year or two, in general, which type of my investments would I start tapping first if I needed to?
Well, which kind do you have? Do you have like a taxable brokerage account? Do you have a qualified account like a 401k or IRA or Roth?
I have traditional IRAs.
Yeah.
I have no-load mutual funds. I have certificates of deposit, and I have actual stocks from companies that I worked from before. So I have lots of everything, or some of everything, I should say.
Well, the last thing that should be touched is always the last things that should be touched are always the qualified tax advantaged plans, be those 401ks, IRAs, or Roths. Those should be last on your list. The liquid money, generally speaking, is the first place you tap, and then you replenish that with some of the taxable assets, but you sell them on a tax-planned basis. You have to figure out which are going to be more advantageous for you to sell, and maybe even if you have losses, use those to offset losses. This is why we say when you're getting into retirement, this is the time when you need advice. Because there are so many considerations. It's not like when you start to save. You go IRA, not IRA, stocks, bonds. Okay. Now it really gets tricky. So you're going to start drawing initially your first payments out of your CDs probably.
That makes a total sense. And the reason for all this is what Don mentioned twice, I think, or maybe three times. Taxes. Because you really want to pay attention to the taxation on any of those monies moving forward. Not that you didn't in the past, but it's way more critical now because everything you sell in the taxable account, you're going to pay hopefully long-term capital gain on versus the stuff that comes out of the IRAs. It's going to be at your regular income tax rate, which generally is higher. Generally.
Right.
That's why I said it's complicated.
And I'm in this I'm in this area where I'm at the 12% tax bracket, but when I start drawing Social Security and other things, I'm going to end up going up to the next tax bracket. So,
and that's not the issue. The issue really is trying to tax plan the which assets are going to hit you with the most tax and the least tax. You want the things that are most advantaged to be given the most time to grow.
Continue growing.
So, for example, and we're not big fans of you having those individual stocks, by the way. We think those should really start moving into ETFs or mutual funds. And again, you need a tax planning process to do that. But those should be moving into better diversified assets. But those, for example, capital gains defer. Basically, you don't pay taxes on capital gains until you sell the securities. So that's why you take the things that pay the most income first, and then you let the things that defer go till later.
And let me ask you a quick question, Paula, before we let you go. Thank you, first of all, for your phone call. I mean, do you have a plan where you sat down with somebody or did it on your own that says, here's the income I need, here's when I'm going to claim Social Security, here's where the other stuff's going to come from, and make sure that it's going to last for that hopefully 25 or 30-year retirement? That would be first before you even get into where the money's created from. That's important.
Yeah, you do need that.
Right, and I've done my own planning. I'm retired military. I've got no debt except a little bit left on my house. So Security is going to come in, and and I really don't have any expenses that to speak of. So I'm just
then
really too
the
liquid,
thing you should draw is just the basic rule of thumb. If there's a tax advantage, let it go. If there is no tax advantage, that's the money you tap first. That's just a very simple rule of thumb that you should follow when you're taking. So you're saying, I'm not going to need any income from this, but if I take it, where should I take it first? CDs. But I still would get those stocks moved into something more diversified. 855-935-TALK, the number.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Do you suffer from hodgepodgeitis? I'm Don McDonald, and hodgepodgeitis is a disease of your investment portfolio whose symptoms include lots of stocks, loads of random loaded mutual funds, and maybe an annuity or two. Most who suffer from hodgepodgeitis dread opening their quarterly portfolio statements. They feel lost and confused. Investing seems overwhelming and the financial future uncertain. If you believe you suffer from hodgepodgeitis, see a 100% fiduciary investment advisor immediately. A proper diagnosis is the first step to creating a portfolio with a purpose based on a personal plan. Start on the road to recovery now by scheduling a free meeting with an Appella advisor at TalkingRealMoney.com. There is no cost, obligation, or high-pressure sales pitch. Take the first step at TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. Hodgepodgeitis is not a real disease, but treating it has been shown to improve mood, reduce fear, and even lead to a brighter financial future. Results may vary.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Your financial future means more than almost anything else because you will reach a point where you're going to need to live off the money you've earned and saved and invested. And we're here to try to help you do that and to earn, save, and invest it better, too. 855-935-TALK is our number. I'm Don. Tom is over there, and you're there, and hopefully you'll call us and do just like Tim did. Tim, welcome to Talking Real Money. Tim? I'm not hearing.
I heard him.
No.
He's there and he's gone.
No, he was there.
Try us back, Tim.
Yeah, because it was about a topic I know much about lately.
Which is?
Mom moving into assisted living.
Oh, yeah, boy, do you ever.
So you become an
Those are
almost
tough.
instant expert on assisted living. Although my wife already was pretty good at it.
Yes,
your
wife had experience too.
Anyway,
sure.
give us a call, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. It's easy and free. So we've been talking in this hour about some of the things that you should do to improve your financial life. Some really basic but simple, sensible things. Not always easy. It requires a little little work to pull off. But there are also some things that you should avoid doing in this year and many others.
Stop doing.
Stop.
Here's
Don't
one.
do this.
What? Here's one. I used to talk to a guy who was a client for a while, but he quit and decided to manage his own money. I hope he's okay. Checking your portfolio every day. He told me he got up every morning and looked at how much money was in his bank account, how much money was in an IRA. I mean, all this sort of thing. That is horrible. That will lead you to make horrible decisions. It'll also make you emotionally distraught.
Well, I'm feeling great then, because I almost never look.
I don't think.
We
just looked at ours because I was curious about our match. So,
don't even. Okay, I talk about
Don
money.
Didn't even know how.
I talk about money all the time, but day to day, I have. Often Tom goes, "You see what the market did today?" And I go, "Did it do something?"
They didn't call.
I had no idea. They didn't let me know.
I know.
It's not like I'm looking. You'll make yourself nuts.
Yeah, you will.
If you do that,
you
because
literally will.
You will. We have this inherent trait, and I think it's a survival trait that we got over time evolving to help protect us. You know, you kind of look off in the underbrush, and you can tell the difference in the pattern when there's a leopard waiting there for you.
I'm hoping I
kind
can.
of hopefully recognize the pattern. So we're really good at looking for patterns and trying to recognize patterns as a tell that are going to give us some idea about the future. And you start looking at the market and you start saying, well, if it was down this much, you know, and the news is that tomorrow it's going to be awful, or
has to.
It's going to fall. Yeah. And then you of course you turn on CNBC and they go, there's going to be a follow through in the market tomorrow. You know, the futures prices are certainly trending lower, and it looks like tomorrow's opening could be even worse than today's. Doesn't tell you a darn thing. Pay no attention.
No.
Don't look. Do not look. John Bogle, love his line. Don't peek.
Yeah,
I
think that's good.
Don't peek.
And I've talked about this. I put mine in a spreadsheet every 6 months. That's really as often as I actually look at the balances and make sure. All right, here's another one. What's out for 2024? Dissing the 60-40 portfolio, the balanced everyman portfolio. How many times have this been killed? More times than, I won't say it, Rasputin. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You did it again.
I know. And I did it at Retire Me Too, and people went, I know that one. Yeah, you know that one. But stop it. Quit saying it's dead. Quit saying it's over. It didn't make money last year. There's a lot of things that don't make money in a year. The 60% stock, 40% bond portfolio has worked for a very long period.
Let me tell you how long.
I don't know what the future will be.
Let me tell you how long. For those who've said, that was just a flash in the pan, a passing fancy. The very first balanced fund started back in 1929.
Wow.
So we have some time. We have a little history.
Yeah.
We have a little history. From 1929 to 2023, through all of that badness, the Wellington Fund, which is now part of Vanguard,
the
Wellington Fund lost money, went down in 20 of those almost 100 years.
And by the way, can you look up the average rate of return?
Absolutely, I know that.
Oh, I figured you
might.
The
average annual return for Wellington.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
I'll say 7.2%.
Higher, about 8.
Well,
right at 8%.
I mean, is that not enough for a portfolio that's balanced between stocks and come on.
And considering that the 100% stocks did 10.
Yeah, right.
But
and you didn't have to take as many hits when you had the bond.
Just treasuries averaged about 4.
That's like 4. I was going to say 4. Okay.
So you got double treasuries.
Yeah, right.
You got just barely under, really, 2 percentage points under buying the crazy stocks, and you had a much smoother ride. Yes, you still lost money at times. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like your mother-in-law, be nicer. I just say it that way, okay?
It wasn't Tim, it was Jim, and we got Jim back on the line. Jim, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call. So I have a question. I'd like some advice on some financing of my mother's assisted living. So she's moving into assisted living this month. The total monthly expense for that is $6,000 a month.
Wow, that's actually pretty darn fair.
Yeah, it's not full assisted or not. You know, she can still get around, but she needs some looking after. So, which is nice. She's 90 years old.
Wow.
She's got about $550,000 in a not very well divested portfolio. She's got $80,000 in cash, and that cash is I bonds, CDs, and high yield savings.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out, you know, she's going to need this money. She gets $2,000 in Social Security, so subtract that, so it's $4,000 out of pocket a month plus extras. So I'm just saying, all right, she's probably going to work in $5,000 a month. So with that, I'm not sure. You know, I don't want to keep her invested in stocks. She's got literally 40% of that portfolio of that 550 is in 4 individual stocks.
Yeah, that's bad, and you don't need to either. By the way,
yeah, this should be gone.
Right.
As a matter of fact, with your mother at 90 years old, she has, is that 80 part of that 550?
No. That's in addition.
So she has over 600,000.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely amazing. I mean, really, she's in quite good shape if she stays at this level of care, because that gives her.
Yeah, I agree.
That gives her 10 years of income, even if the money never makes a penny.
Well, no, you got to add in the Social Security too for another.
Well, he did add that in, so it's $60,000 a year because her $4,000 plus plus another $1,000 in extras, so it's about $60,000 a year over and above Social Security. You have over $600,000. So if you were, this would be to me, Tom.
It's 6,000. So it would be 60,000. That includes the Social Security.
Well, wait, you said 6,000 a month for the care, right? And then 2,500. And then 2,000 off of that for Social Security, so that's 4,000. And then add another 1,000, and that's 5.
And then I'm adding another 1,000.
So that's 5. So that's 60,000 a year, which means
on
without
the 630.
Yeah.
Right. So that means you're making. That means if you were to ladder CDs out 5 or 10 years,
say 5.
Yeah. You would have no risk, and you can definitely at this rate support her for 10 years. Without a doubt.
I was thinking 5-year seeds, a 5-year ladder of 60,000 apiece.
I think that makes a lot of sense, sir. A lot. Thanks for the call.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Let's get your situation sorted out financially and get you on the best path we can. Call us at 855-935-TALK. And AJ, you're up. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi. Yes, I too am 90, but I fortunately am very independent. I live on my own. I handle my everything.
Wow. And you sound so young.
Aspect.
Sound
I know
great.
everyone tells me that. And,
well done.
Yes, I work at it though. You know, I mean, some people just sit on their laurels. I've always exercised and tried to move, and I think that's the most important thing we can do.
Good for you. I'm so impressed. Anyway, what can we do for you?
Okay, I have quite a bit of money in stocks, and I've always liked stocks. I have some mutual funds, and I have some both bonds and stocks and so forth. I want to make it easier for the person who's going to be my POA. And so I am thinking I would like to take some of these stocks and put them in mutual funds. What is the maximum? Now, I'm in a low-income rate now.
Yep.
The lowest one that there is. So what is the max? Now, most of my stocks I've had them for decades. So there's the capital gains are very long.
We're going to stop you here,
We
AJ.
need to stop you for a minute only because time is short. And the advice that we're going to give you goes against what we would normally tell people. Okay,
but
usually we would
not
say
that you're old, you're old, but you are 90.
But you're not.
So here's why.
So here's what we would suggest that you not sell a single one of those stocks.
No way. You're just creating taxes you don't need to create.
Right, because if they are passed to your heirs, they get the
I know.
Step up.
Yeah, I know. The step up cost.
There's just no reason to. There's no reason for you to take your POA can sell them if they have to and they need cash. You sound like somebody's prepared for all these things.
You're going to hand 15, 20% of your money over to the government that they don't need to get.
Oh, thank you so much. I've never listened to you before because I've lived in the East and I just moved out into the West not long ago, and so I've never listened. I mean, I just happened to hear you, and I got your number, and hallelujah, because I was going to start doing that.
Don't do a thing.
First of all, you're not the only person who's ever said they didn't listen to us, so we're okay with that.
That would be both our wives. So
it doesn't hurt our feelings at all. Number two, you go live your life. You keep going. Don't rest on those laurels. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, but don't sell anything because there's no reason. Just hang on to them.
Oh, thank you. That gives me a lot more time too, rather than having to go online.
Go enjoy your friends and exercise some more. Live another
I
couple of years.
More than that.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was great. And no, we usually say, yes,
I know,
lighten up on your stock portfolio. But when you're getting close to, is there a nice way to say getting close to the end of your life?
The end? I don't know. But she may not. She sounds like she's very young.
Again, though, she's still closer to it than a 40-year-old, typically.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
So she doesn't need to diversify. She doesn't need to clean things up. Her POA can look at that stock by. Take a look at it stock by stock and make a decision at that point anyway if cash was needed to be raised. Right? Decide I'll sell this one, I'll keep this one.
Assuming cash is going to need to be raised.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you sound like you're prepped for
we didn't go through the whole portfolio, but it sounds like she's really sharp, really intelligent, got her act together. She enjoyed buying stocks.
Welcome to Seattle too, by the way.
All right, we're gonna have to slip away, Tom. I'm sorry. Tell your friends and neighbors, go to talkingrealmoney.com for more.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions.
Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy.
Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor.
Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services.
Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. I think I need a nap.